So tip 407, draw a fire ant with reference pictures. So draw with me within 17 minutes and 17 seconds. So the step 1 here is choose your reference pictures. So I'm looking for some reference pictures of fire ant from different angle, but also different zoom. As you can see, some of them have more level of details on the head with the hair. The other one has a whole fire ant with the full postures where you can see like somehow like a skeleton, I would say. So my goal here is to use the reference pictures, but to draw something new. And I'm doing this with the step 2 by drawing the main form with the different postures. And as you can see here, like when I draw the 2D forms, I add contour lines all around with that step 3, which make these 2D forms into a 3D one. So I feel free to learn more about it from the How to Draw Max article that I have on my blogs, which basically get inspired from skeleton to draw better concept art. Because the right thing is at studying nature, studying this end, is nature never lies. That's kind of a principle where biomimicry, like we get inspired from nature to create robots, to create concept art. That's something that people can understand and actually naturally makes sense. And this is what is the magic about creating concept art, creating design, is that we don't have to reinvent the wheel all the time. And you just need to get inspired from natures. So here I'm adding some more details about the ants by itself. And as you can see here, this is the mandibles, that where I use the reference pictures, we have more zoom in details, which allow me to have a closer look. And now I would like you to see how I draw the antenna. Can you see this little dot that I draw? Then I join them. This is how I place them in space, in 3D space. So the antenna is divided into sections. I already started with the first, and then I visualize in my mind the second place, the second dot that I would like the antenna to join. Here we go. So it's really important to add the details after you have been through all the main forms. Remember, we started to draw the main forms, drawing the posture of the ant, and after that I did the eyes, antenna, the mandibles. Because it's really important to place the main structure first. It's like if you're drawing a house, you will draw the structure of the house first, and then you will come up with the door, the windows, and after you have the door and the windows, you will draw the handle of the door and the curtain, all the small details. Always think of drawing, whether it's an anatomy, product design, concept art, or fashion. Start thinking like a funnel. You start with the main form first, and then you go into the details. Okay? So now it's time to draw with the legs. So the legs looks very intricate right here. So we have 3 pair of legs. They are very skinny, and we are going all around, and it's can be messed up. So I invite you to download the Designer Starter Kit to have a better training about 3D. So we are going to start to draw with some cube in perspective, and as you can see, there's some little ants on the cover. And you are going to be more able to draw on 3 dimensions on the 2D paper. So what I'm going to do here is to draw the legs, and I try to have it like this position, which kind of having a arachnid feeling, like a spider feeling, somehow like Spider-Man feeling. And that's what I try to give for my drawing. So as you can see here, I draw like similar to the antenna. I try to spot the different section of the leg, and then I connect them. Okay? So I already have the 2 front leg. I go behind. I try to see how they connect to the body, and then I draw like somehow like an arm that can be extending with, as you can see, with a little dot in between. They're like the articulation, the joints of every single leg. And then I just play around and draw in 3 dimensions. Here we go. So it looks very complex, but this is why it's important to decompose things. When you decompose things, everything looks a lot more simple. So I'm not trying to be perfect. I just try to get inspired from the reference picture that we have. Here we go. By actually not trying to draw 100% what I see helps me to progress a lot faster though. And so this step 5 is just a single line to show the ground. And then I want to step 6, refine with line weight. When you have your overall pictures that you can pretty much see what's going on, you can refine with bold lines and get a lot more confidence on what you're doing. Here we go. So when you draw, try to take your time and think. You don't have to always come up with non-stop drawing. So you add some micro details right now. Now the micro details are the little hair on the end that give it a more realism to it. And then I invite you to draw the headshot of this ant just for fun. Once again here, I'm not trying to reproduce exactly what I see. I'm drawing my own interpretation of ant, of fire ant. Actually, the reason why I decided to draw ant today is because I have just been bitten by one of them 2 days ago. My skin is burning and my neck is pretty stiff right now. But I decided to, okay, let's share it with you, this little inspiration of crazy and dangerous fire ant. That thing is so tiny but can make so much damage on a human. It's crazy. All right, let's carry on. I draw the eyes right here. So I draw with loose line, if you can see, which is very comfy to draw organic forms. Let's carry on. This is bolding with some hatching for creating more contrast and value. The value of black. Yep, carry on. So the pen I'm using is a ballpoint pen from Lamy. You can use any ballpoint pen as you wish. And the good thing is, instead of drawing with pencil, I cannot erase right here. So whenever I draw, I start with a very light pen pressure and I bold along the way. You can see like when I draw the details, those tiny details, I kind of bold much more than the construction lines. So the more you draw, the more you come up with details, all the construction lines become kind of invisible behind. And that's what you want when you're drawing. You don't want to spend time to erase. Just if you have a mistake, just iterate on top. And you can just add a little bit more pressure with your lines. So make sure you start very light at the beginning and be very gentle. If you have a heavy wrist, try to practice different pen pressure when you draw, okay? As you can see, for this headshot, I'm basically using the same steps that we have been using for drawing the ant. I've been drawing the main form, I've been drawing the contour lines, having the detail like the eyes, the mandibles. Now for the ground, it's not needed right here. And then I did some micro details like what I'm doing here. Here we go. So at this stage is basically the quite fun and relaxing stage, because this is when everything is pretty much well situated. So you cannot really go wrong anymore in that stage. All the principle of the main form is there. So you can just add a bit of details and just chill and draw the things taking your times. Like all this main form has been pretty much done in a couple of minutes. And when I draw the details, it always takes much longer. Now it's time to draw the antenna, and the antenna is pretty much just in front of the eyes. So I believe the end have some 180-degree on side view, and then can recompose the whole pictures, because I see that the antenna is in front of the eyes. It's pretty interesting though. Yep, here we go. Up drawing the antenna, and to make sure that I want to show that the antenna is going in front of the head, I do not hesitate to exaggerate the size of the antenna in front. It's like the focal is quite huge. And I draw some contour lines all around the antenna. Up, here we go. Connect. Try to make it super organic. Some mini contour line all around. So once again, don't try to be super perfect for this exercise. So is there any insects that you like, or you like spiders, you like butterfly maybe, you like is there any insect that you like drawing and you want to exercise? Feel free to select your own reference pictures or use the one that I have right here. And just carry on sketching and having fun with it. You can try different postures of the end as well. Oh, here we go. So hopefully this video, which I just added in speed 1, is to invite you to draw with me, because from these days, with TikTok, the all social media, everything is super fast. And I believe that we are starting to lack of power of concentration in long time, even for 10 or 15 minutes. So I really hope that this video where I take my time is something that can inspire you and hope you to motivate you to draw with me as well. Just play the video and spend some 17 minutes to draw. And if you get hooked, draw as long as you want. So the moment in between that I trace the lines are actually as equally important, because this is when I'm thinking of when will be the next lines. So here I'm just adding a bit of background behind the head of the end, so it creates some more contrast and bring the board more interesting to visualize. So as you can see, like our previous tutorial from the tip 4 or 6, I do turn the paper here and there to gain more comfort when I draw, to get more control in my lines. Now I add a bit more contrast with some values with hatching. Apply. Here we go. Try to give some more emphasis of the back. When you add some more value, you make it more interesting. Here we go. Feel free to experiment when you draw and discover stuff along the way. But the thing is, you just need to remember the different steps that we have been shown here from these 7 steps. But if you can't remember them, don't worry. It's just about going from general to detail once again. So the first part of the drawing is pretty intense, but then now when it's time to refine, as you can see, it's very chill. I'm just adding, for example, here some hair here and there. Up, up, up. If I apply something on the big shot of the head, I try to apply it also on the body shot. Here we go. It's funny how like this end, if you don't try to look for some close-up, somehow we would have ignored how it looks like. If you would have tried to draw this end without close-up, we would have like a blur picture of it. We couldn't. I don't believe that we would have been able to study it so well, and we would have like a caricature of the ant only. So it's, as a product designer, it's really interesting to zoom in stuff to see how they are made, and then draw the little details in a very big drawing. And the day you want to draw it smaller, your brain will be able to scale down what you have studied. So if you struggle to draw something, some details, just draw another thumbnail beside and draw it bigger. So, so I really invite you to take some paper, take a pen, draw with me. Take your time whenever you want to observe things and put it on paper. You start with a light pen pressure first, and then you bold along the way. Okay. Up. This is an end. All right. So that's what we got. And how here speed up on the little tiny value that I did later on. I did even a ground shadow for the step 9 right here. So we want to create some more contrast. Here we go. So take your pen and go ahead.